Hey guys, this is Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalist. In this case, the video is going to be about knife disarm techniques. I suggest sticking around if you have a few minutes because you will find this useful, no doubt. I got an email recently. It says, "Dear Fairfile, I had a little previous training in knife fighting using the knife and disarming it via Kali and combatives. However, I am skeptical of how well most of those techniques work in knife disarming, especially those that rely on wrist manipulation. As mentioned in your book, Modern Survival Manual, Surviving Economic Collapse, a good idea is to have a non-cooperative partner test out a technique. This is where most disarming techniques fail, when the attacker, myself or my partner, becomes more aggressive, aka stitching machine mode, or shifts the knife to the other hand. I'm interested in the disarming technique mentioned in your book and would like to try it out. Do you know a good video clip showing what you described, or at the very least photos showing the same technique? Thank you and keep up your good work." Yeah, actually, yes. I will show you just that, just what you were asking for. And if you did actually combatives, it's really not that different. What I use in my book, and I did dedicate quite a bit of pages to using the knife for defense, you know, because I understand that most people maybe don't have a firearm in their houses, but they do have a big kitchen knife. But also against, about using, what technique to use against a knife attacker when you are disarmed. And here is where it really gets, you know, it gets crazy, because 99% of the things you see in the martial arts world in terms of disarming techniques when someone attacks you with a knife simply doesn't work. You know, if it works for you, fantastic. Just try it out. If you try it out with someone that is not cooperating, someone that is using a dummy knife, a plastic knife, chalked up or with paint so as to see if it makes contact or not, in most cases it simply doesn't work. If it does work, fantastic, go with that, go nuts with that. What I use in my book, actually I borrowed it from this other book that is called Esgrima Criolla, written by Mario A. Lopez Osornio. This is based on the different techniques used by the gauchos of South America. Gauchos are the equivalent of cowboys, but instead of using firearms, they would use knives. Why? Because guns were very expensive. In South America, there weren't that many of them. Same with ammunition. There were very few guns. The few ones that were around were awfully expensive, and ammunition was hard to get, especially in the different and more distant outposts and such. Gauchos used knives, and when they fought, if it was a duel, if it was a fight, a bar fight, always knives. So there's a lot of knowledge on using knives for fighting, for defense, and also how to disarm someone attacking you with a knife. That's basically a technique I describe in my book. It's basically about being quick and having control over the arm with a knife, and using an arm bar or some sort of leverage so as to control and disarm or break the arm that has a knife. Alright, you may be thinking, I don't really care one bit about gauchos, South America, I think that's all stupid. That's fantastic. If you don't like what I wrote about, then maybe just look at this. This is the US Army Field Manual 3-25.150. Alright, it's basically, alright, you see that? Okay, same thing. Same thing. Guy with army clothing, guy with gaucho hat. Do you see the similarity? What worked 100 years over, you know, 200 years ago still works today, and is what's being recommended by the US military. The US Military Combatives Manual, it's available, you know, online. You just look it up, FM for Field Manual 3-25.150, and you will be finding it for downloading and reading all you like. It goes a little bit more on different ways of controlling the arm when coming from different angles, but it always ends up pretty much doing the same thing. Okay, we read a little bit more on that description over here. The defender brings the attacker arm around maybe a little bit more. The attacker delivers a slash along number 1 angle of attack. The defender meets and checks the movement with the left forearm bone, striking the inside forearm of the attacker. The defender's right hand immediately follows behind the strike to lift, right, redirect, and take control of the attacker's knife arm. Take control of the attacker's right knife arm. Alright, the defender brings the attacker arm around to his right side where he can use an arm bar, wrist lock, and so forth to disarm the attacker. That's basically what you're going for. Okay, this is what worked back then, what works today, and you know, I don't mean any disrespect to anyone in terms of different martial arts schools and such. That's all fantastic, but the only thing I'm saying is, if it's not working against a guy that's not cooperating with you, okay, then you should really reconsider how effective that is. I actually found a little video here. These two guys are actually at it. You see, he's not helping, he's not cooperating. He's trying to stab this guy, and this is actual combative. That knife has an electric discharge instead of paint or chalk or something like that, so the person would feel a bit of pain. It's about controlling the arm. You see, there's no angle, it's very unorthodox. That's the thing about a knife fight that's impossible to predict in many ways. Alright, you just have to find a way of controlling that arm and stopping it from stabbing you to pieces. This is closer to what it would really look like, right? And he's trying to do some jiu-jitsu there, but basically you see that there, that's what actually works. Leverage on the arm and ripping the arm off if you can actually do that. Okay, in my book I mentioned getting the arm under your armpit, which is pretty much what this guy is going for. Okay, so that's it, guys. There's really no magic silver bullet to stop someone from stabbing you, and you know, even if you're successful, the guy here, he would have been cut several times. The best you can hope for is, at the very least, in spite of getting cut, stopping the guy with a knife. Guys, that's all for now. As always, take care. Remember to subscribe. Have a great day, and see you on our next video.